Okay, good morning everyone. So today we will discuss about smallpox and chickenpox, right? So Dristilina, she was supposed to present on smallpox, and Sanjana, she was supposed to present on chickenpox. So Dristilina, you start first with smallpox, and then Sanjana, you go for chickenpox. Okay. After that, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, anyone. Okay, and then we'll discuss some probable question and answers. Okay. So yes, you can start. Okay, good morning.
Smallpox is a virus that is caused by virola and an adult infectious disease caused by virola virus and clinically classified by a sudden onset of fever, headache, backache, etc. In children, sometimes infection reach blood stream, and its causes are on the third day of the fever. It typically rash appears, which is certified in uh, distribution and passes through successive stages of moles. History of smallpox. Previously, it was one of the greatest killer disease. In 1967, who began an infectious worldwide campaigning to and containing. The last known case of smallpox in India occurred on 24th May 1975. India was declared smallpox free on 5th July 1975. Treatments of smallpox. Smallpox vaccination with 3 days of exposure will prevent or signify less the survival of smallpox symptoms in the vast majority of people. Vaccination after 4 to 7 days after exposure often can offer some protection from disease or may modify the eventually of disease. In July 2018, Food and Food and Drug Administration avoid the first delivery above the smallpox treatment. Sometimes infection reach bloodstream and may cause respiratory problem, and blood prevents the that might need vaccination or effective or artificial airways support. Thank you.
Okay, so you are done, right?
No, actually, I'm not well. That's why I can't present properly.
Okay, I can guess it from your voice. Maybe you're not well, but it's okay. You tried. So, well done. Good. Okay. So, I just want to make a rectification. Okay. You said that it's certified distribution, maybe. that is actually centrifugal distribution. Okay, so the one that I have mentioned in the differences, so we'll come to it. Okay, but otherwise the rest was good. Okay, so now Sanjana, you are there? Sanjana, you are there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you can start chicken pox. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. We are going to talk about chickenpox. So, chickenpox, which is also known as varicella, is an acute and highly contagious infectious disease caused by varicella zoster virus. It is characterized by muscular rust and accompanied example, healthcare workers. Now, mode of transmission. Mother to child. If the mother has varicella, then there is possibility of the child also getting airborne or droplet infection. It can also spread when a person with the chickenpox coughs or sneezes, i.e., inhale the air droplet, and it can spread through direct contact with blood. Prevention and treatment. The best way to prevent chickenpox is to get the chickenpox vaccine. Everyone, including children and adults. The vaccine is safe and currently recommended for children between 12 to 18 months of age who have never chickenpox. Vaccination is given at 12 to 15 months and at 3 to 4 years. Or treatment if septicemia is present, medical management is required. If fever is present, paracetamol is given. Varicella local immunoglobulin given within 72 hours of exposure is given. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so you presented well. Good. Okay. Um, so if we talk about smallpox and chickenpox, most of the times these two are usually confused. Okay, confused because maybe the rashes they have the same stages. Because of such reasons, they are often confused. So smallpox it is caused by your variola virus, whereas chickenpox is caused by a varicella zoster virus. Okay, then apart from it there are certain differences about the incubation period. Okay, incubation period for smallpox is 7 to 17 days. Okay, for like chickenpox it is 7 to 21 days. Then there are something about like prodromal symptoms. So what do you mean by prodromal symptoms? Anyone? What are prodromal symptoms? Prodromal. Prodromal. Prodromal symptoms. Anyone? Yes, early symptoms.
Like abnormality.
Okay. Okay, so prodromal symptoms are your early symptoms. Okay, which you get like before the eruption of the rashes, you get certain symptoms. So, for example, if any one of you had experienced chicken pox, then you will know that just before the appearance of the rashes, you will get fever for some days. Okay, after getting the fever, that is when you were infected, and after some period of time you will have the rashes, and after that these rashes will start erupting. So these are your prodromal symptoms which appear early. Okay, which appear early. These are the early signs and symptoms. So these are the prodromal symptoms. So in case of smallpox, the prodromal symptoms are severe. In case of chickenpox, these are usually mild. Now then, talking about the distribution of rashes, in case of smallpox, the palms and your soles, okay, the palms and the soles of your feet, the palms of your hand, these are usually involved. But in case of your chickenpox, the palms and the soles, these are usually free. In case of chickenpox, your axilla or the armpit, it is affected more. In case of chickenpox, the axilla is usually free. And I also explained you about the flexor and the extensor surfaces. So if you have attended the classes, you will remember the diagram. When I said about the flexor surfaces, the chickenpox rashes, you will see them more on the flexor surfaces, and the smallpox rashes, you see them more on the extensor surfaces. Again, the main difference is the smallpox rashes, those are centrifugal in nature, and chickenpox rashes, these are centripetal in nature. So you all remember what is centrifugal and centripetal? Anyone? Centrifugal, centripetal? Anyone? I have told this during the classes, so if you remember, you can say, or else I'll say. It's okay if you are wrong, you can try. Centrifugal and centripetal. Moving or tending to move away. Okay, wait. So, moving or tending to move away. So, is it centripetal or centrifugal? Because both are different. So, which one you meant, Gina? Centripetal. Okay. And centrifugal? Anyone? Anyone can say what is centrifugal? Towards the center. Okay. See, you said the thing, it is correct, but then you said it in a opposite way. Okay. Centripetal is towards the center and centrifugal is moving away from the center. Okay. Centrifugal means moving away from the center and centripetal means towards the center. Okay, but good that you tried. But then centripetal, okay, you see this centripetal distribution in case of your chickenpox. So I told you that in case of chickenpox, your palms and the soles, these are free. Why? Because the rashes, they tend to move towards the center of your body, and your palms and the soles, these are located at the extreme ends of your body, right? So the rashes here in case of chickenpox, they tend to move towards the center of the body. So usually the palms and the soles, these are free. What is affected is mostly the axilla and the trunk. Okay, and in case of your smallpox, the palms and the soles are involved, where you get this centrifugal distribution, that is they move away from the center. So usually the axilla or the armpit, these things are free. The palms and the soles, which are the extremities, so most of the rashes will be found in those areas. I'll show you a picture. Wait, this one. Okay, this picture, as you can see, in case of smallpox, most of the rashes are present in the extremities. I'll not say that it will not be present in the trunk or at the midline of your body. It will be present, but then they tend to move away from the center. As you can see, most of the rashes are on the sides or on the extremities, maybe in your hands, in your legs, or on your face. And in your trunk and in the midline of your body, the distribution is less. So this is the centrifugal distribution, where the rashes are moving away from the center. Okay, move away from the center or tending to move away from the center. In case of your centripetal distribution, which you see in case of your chickenpox rashes, here you can see that in the arms and in the legs it is a bit less, but at the center of your body, that is in your trunk, the rashes are more. That is, they tend to move towards the center. This is the centripetal distribution. Okay, so this tend to move towards the center or moving towards the center, it is centripetal. Away from the center, it is centrifugal. Okay, clear about this centrifugal and centripetal? Yes, okay. And then usually when I say that, like in case of your chicken pox you get these prodromal symptoms, in case of smallpox also you get the prodromal symptoms, that means the early signs and symptoms. Now if I talk about chicken pox, the signs and symptoms that you see, okay, there is the early ones. When do you see them? Before the eruption of the rashes, okay, on the before the eruption. So this chicken pox can also be said to have like two phases, okay, pre-eruptive phase and then eruptive phase. Okay, these are the two phases. You can note that down if you want to. Pre-eruptive phase and eruptive phase. Pre-eruptive. E-R-U, pre, simple. So if I say it is pre-eruptive phase, this means just before the eruption of the rashes. Okay, so you will have maybe mild rashes or fever. Okay, so rise in temperature and feeling unwell. Okay, weakness. So these are the signs and symptoms that you will experience in the pre-eruptive phase. Now if I talk about the eruptive phase, then the rashes, those have already erupted and you are able to see the rashes. Okay, so you will see these small bumps over your skin. So when you see these bumps over the skin, so that is the eruptive phase. Okay, so this comes under your pre-eruptive and the eruptive phase. In pre-eruptive phase, the small bumps will, you can see this here, this is the pre-eruptive phase where you might have fever, pain, okay, loss of appetite, sore throat, headache, fever. So these are the pre-eruptive phase. And usually before like any disease, before it gets worse, you experience the mild symptoms. So it's similar in case of your small chicken pox as well. So before the eruption, you will get this pre-eruptive phase. Okay. So before the rashes comes out, you will have like fever, pain in the back, shivering, malaise. Malaise means general feeling of unwellness. So there is malaise. So all this you will have in pre-eruptive phase. As you can see here, loss of appetite, sore throat, irritability, fever, headache. So this comes under your pre-eruptive phase. When I say that it has diminished centrifugally, means it is a more centripetal distribution. Centrifugally it has diminished. That means away from the center that is diminished, but towards the center it is more. Okay. So this is about your pre-eruptive and the eruptive phase, which you see in chickenpox. Okay, that's easy. If you, the name itself says that. Pre-eruptive means before the rashes erupt. Okay, there you will have things such as your fever, headache, sore throat, and then the eruptive phase where the rashes will also occur. So these two are the definite phases of your chickenpox: pre-eruptive and eruptive. And usually the rashes of chickenpox are very superficial, okay, whereas the rashes of your smallpox are deep, okay, or you can say that deep seated. And in case of your smallpox, only one stage of rash may be seen at one time. Okay, so they pass through these various stages, no, macule, papule, vesicle, scab. So when one rash is at the stage of macule, so the other will also be in the macule phase only. But in case of your chickenpox, it might be as such that different stages of rashes are seen. Maybe one group of rashes are in the macule phase, maybe others have already led to the stage of your scab. Okay, so that is, it might be different. Okay, so in case of your smallpox, like all the rashes are in the same stage. But in case of your chickenpox, maybe a group of rash is in its like early stage, maybe the other group of rash is in the late stage. Okay, and in case of your smallpox, what happens is that the fever, okay, the fever, it comes down after the rashes appear, the fever comes down, but again it might rise, okay, in the pustular stage. But in case of your chickenpox, as I told you that the rashes may be in different stage, so maybe some rashes have erupted today, you will get fever, maybe some of the rashes will erupt some other day, so you will get fever again on that day. Okay, but in case of your smallpox, all the rashes most of the time they erupt nearly about the same time, so you get the fever maybe one time or again in the pustular phase. But in case of your chickenpox, these rashes, they keep on arising, like maybe today some rashes will arise, maybe tomorrow or day after that again some rashes will erupt. So you will get fever or rise in temperature with each fresh crop of rash. Clear about the differences? I have sent a note on this as well, but I'm explaining it again. Clear? Is it clear? So remember about this. Okay, I hope it is clear to all. Okay, so everyone remember about this pre-eruptive and the eruptive stage. Okay, so pre-eruptive is before the appearance of rashes, you will get symptoms such as fever, malaise, headache, sore throat, irritability. Okay, again there is this eruptive stage when the rashes have already appeared in your body. Okay, so you might have the earlier symptoms, but along with it the rashes have erupted. So that is the eruptive phase. So now questions as such, tell me about tell about the name of the virus that causes smallpox. Anyone? I'll give options. Okay, option A variola major, option B variola minor, option C both A and B, option D varicella zoster virus. Which one?
Both A and B.
Both.
Yes, anyone else? Okay, you all are correct. It's both A and B. That is the variola major and variola minor. Okay, next question. Say if this is true or false. Okay. Smallpox, listen to it carefully. Okay. Smallpox is caused by variola major and variola minor. The prodromal symptoms are severe and the rashes, they tend to move towards the center. So is the statement correct or wrong?
Correct.
Okay. Anyone else wants to add up something? Is it correct or wrong? Smallpox is caused by variola major and minor. The prodromal symptoms are usually severe and the rashes, they tend to move towards the center. Correct or wrong?
Wrong.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so let me tell you the statement, you both are correct. Okay, the statement was partially correct, the statement was partially wrong. So when there will be statement as such, you read it properly. Okay, some statement might be correct, or there might be options such as partially true or partially false. Okay, so read the statement properly. So this statement, what I was saying, was partially false and it was partially true. Okay, so you will get options as such, that maybe it is partially correct or partially false, or maybe it is true or correct. So where it was correct is, I told that it is caused by variola major and minor, and the prodromal symptoms are severe. So up to this it was correct. Then what I said was, the rashes, they tend to move towards the center, but in case of smallpox, the rashes, they tend to move away from the center, right? So this statement is partially false. Okay, so there will be questions as such. So this I wanted to discuss. Okay, clear how to choose such statements? Okay, I'll give you another example. Let me think. Okay, okay, according to WHO definition, health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. So is this statement correct, false, partially true or partially false? Think about it. It's okay even if you were wrong, only then you will get corrected.
Partially wrong.
Partially wrong. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so this statement was partially true. Okay, let me tell you why. I said that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being. Okay, so what was the WHO definition? WHO definition was, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of a disease or infirmity. So, what does this means? So, when I said half of the statement, the half of the statement was correct, right? Only half was not present. So you cannot call this statement as true because some portions were missing. So this statement is partially true. When will you say a statement as partially false? Like the example I gave for smallpox. Okay, that I told you that it is caused by variola minor and variola major, and the prodromal symptoms are severe, and the rashes, they tend to move towards the center. So when I say towards the center, so that was a false thing that I have added, right? So this, when there is this false thing, so that statement is partially false. Okay, but the statement where I said about health, there was nothing wrong in it, but it was incomplete. The definition was incomplete. So things like that are partially true. Why partially true? Because some part is missing, but whatever is stated, that part is correct. So it is partially true. But now the smallpox, what I have said, that is partially false. Why partially false? Because I have added something wrong there. So that in that way it is partially false. Clear? You want me to repeat something, or is it clear? Repeat, or is it clear? Clear. Another example. Okay. Another example that I'll give you, like chickenpox is caused by varicella virus. Okay, the prodromal symptoms are severe, and the rashes, they tend to move towards the center. So, is this statement true or false? Or partially false or partially true?
Partially false.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so you are right, it is partially false. Okay, why partially false? Because I said that prodromal symptoms are severe, whereas in case of chickenpox, the prodromal symptoms are mild. Okay, so statements as such, where you see that there is something wrong in where the statement is correct, well and good, the statement is true. Okay, when you see that the whole statement is false, then it is false. When you see that some things are relatable, such as it is caused by varicella virus, that is true. Okay, the rashes tend to move towards the center, that is true. But when I said that the prodromal symptoms are severe, which is not, the prodromal symptoms are mild, so something is wrong in the statement, so that is partially false. If the whole statement is false, then of course that will be a false statement. And when I'm saying of such sentences such as about the health, where I have mentioned about some point, but some point was missing, but whatever was written, that is correct, but apart from it some point is missing, so such statements are partially true. Clear? Clear, everyone? Okay, so as we go through the revision classes, we will discuss such statements. Okay, we'll discuss them more so that it will be more clear for you. So we'll wind up the class now. CR, you send me the attendance, and tomorrow I want someone to present on tuberculosis. So if anyone wants to do it voluntarily, kindly let me know before 12, and if not, I'll pick up someone. Okay, we'll present on tuberculosis tomorrow. And CR, you send me the attendance. Okay.